This video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another Farming Simulator 22 Map First Impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at the Lost Corner. But before that, this video is brought to you by Aaron Just and Bala Patru Sapti. Thank you for being farm barons. So the Lost Corner can be found over at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game downloadable content menu. And as of the 1.0 release, this map is available for all platforms. Now let's read a little bit of the description. It says, welcome to the last corner. Well, I thought this map was called the Lost Corner. Okay, at any rate, this region is completely fictional. It is made up of several farms such as pigs, horses, cows, and sheep. Now, in fact, there are 17 animal pens pre-placed on the map when you load up. That is going to cause a problem for console players. I'm going to go into that in a little bit of detail later on in the video. There are 2 agricultural and forest companies, and this card is intended for medium equipment. The large equipment is more intended for the south of the map with 2 large fields for the bravest. The average area of the fields is 0.8 hectares in size. There are 169 fields, 14 purchasable forests. Water points are available at the river. This map does have collectibles from Elm Creek. 21 points of sale, 4 purchasing stations for seed, solid and liquid fertilizer, herbicide, de-icing salt, and digestate. 8 farms already available for solo or multiplayer. 2 repair points on the map with 2 stores. That is misleading. There's only 1 shop. You can only have 1 vehicle shop on a map, but there are 2 shop buildings, but only one of them has an actual functional shop trigger. Both do have functional workshop triggers, though. In addition, this map has 3 new crops in fodder mustard, durum wheat, and spring barley. This map has added pasta production, added realism with grassland for animal movement. Okay. And it says the crop growth is set up for real French data. Let's go ahead and load on in. We are going to use the mods that we typically use when we look at maps. That is additional field info, additional settings, field lease, field calculator, and precision farming. If you load this map up in farm manager mode or start from scratch, you will find everything is exactly how we're going to see it here in new farmer mode, with the exception that we do not own any land. All of the buildings are pre-placed. We even start with starting equipment in farm manager or start from scratch. We just don't own any land, and also, of course, our bank account balance is different. Now, while the map is also loading up, I will tell you that this map includes the generic soil map from the Precision Farming mod. It is not using a custom soil map. And here we go, loaded on in. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the PDA, and it is rather busy because there is a lot going on here. As the description said, there are 169 fields on this map. Now, this map is probably a little bit smaller than a standard size map. I know when we zoom out, typically we have a little bit of an issue where there's overlap and such, but we can easily position this map so there isn't any overlap. We do have all the standard crops available to us here in Farm Sim 22, in addition to durum wheat, spring barley, and fodder mustard, as I said earlier. Let's go ahead and see if any of these fields are pre-planted with these new crops. Does look like we do have a fair bit of durum wheat pre-planted on the map. That is pretty cool. Let's go ahead and take a look at our lands area. You'll see that starting out in new farmer mode, we start out owning the main farm here, and it is 2.17 acres in size, $57,000 to buy. We also own field 14, as well as field 86 and 141. We can buy the unbuyable area, which is typically the sell points, as well as here we have the road network and the river network and the area outside of the map border. There is a biogas plant that we can buy that is right up here. It is $119,000. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our farmland lease screen. This is going to show us all of the viable farmlands, how much they're going to cost us if they include any fields, and how large those farmlands are. See, we start out by owning farmland 2, which is 0.88 hectares in size, $57,000. Farmland 35, which includes field 114, at $44,000. Farmland 51, it includes field 86. Farmland 146, which includes 141. And then we'll go ahead and just take a look down here. Here is the unbuyable land, 161 hectares in size. Just want to go slowly scroll through this list so you can kind of cross-reference the farm lands with the field numbers, and then how big and how much those are going to cost you. Then in a little bit, we will take a look at the field calculator screen, where we're just going to look specifically at fields and how big each particular field is. And now we'll take a look at our field calculator screen. You can see we start up at field 86, which is 0.73 hectares in size, field 114, which is 0.59, and field 141, which is 0.55. We'll scroll through this list here. Field 1 is 2.96 hectares in size. Field 7 is 4.42. But overall, most of these fields are going to be sub 1 hectare in size. A few in the range of, 1 to 2, 2 to 3. But overall, most of them are less than 1 hectare in size. So overall, I would agree that the map is intended for medium equipment, or possibly even maybe the adventurous small equipment farmer would enjoy themselves on this map if they were a bit more selective with which fields they are going to be farming on. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our precision farming screen here, and then specifically how the generic soil map is being applied to this map. We have big swaths of silty clay to the north and the south, a little bit of silty clay over to the far western edge of the map. The overall most eastern edge of the map is a fair bit of loam. And then in the center, we have the good chunk of loamy sand and sandy loam that, again, we have come to know as the generic soil map from the Precision Farming mod. Now, if we take a look at our crop counter, the description says the crop growth is based on real-life French data. Now, at first glance, this looks like the generic crop counter. I specifically usually key off of wheat, barley, and canola. Now, I don't have all the other crops memorized, but this does look an awful darn lot like the generic crop counter. Now, we do have our durum wheat, spring barley, and fodder mustard that is added to the crop counter. Those are the 3 additional crops that have been added to the map. We take a look at our prices screen, you will see that we do indeed have the ability to sell all of the base game crops. In fact, we have lots of ways to sell all the base game crops. We also have the ability to sell our animal outputs in silage, hay, straw, and grass. We also have the ability to sell those. Moving down here through the productions, we have the ability to sell all of the base game productions as well. So this map is well suited for everything that Farm Sim 22 has to offer with respect to growing and producing. We also have bulk line buy points. We have a stone crusher on the map, and then here we have our durum wheat, spring barley, and pasta, which is also something that has been added to the map. Now, we have durum wheat, spring barley, and pasta. What about fodder mustard? Right? What about fodder mustard? That's not in the list here anywhere, but we can grow it, but we can't apparently sell it. That's interesting. So that will ultimately impact the overall scoring of the map. Now, as far as our vehicle overview, we have mostly mostly new equipment that is well maintained, with a few exceptions. The New Holland CH7.70 and the Harvester header has got 500 hours on it each. It's well maintained, but as a result, it has lost a fair bit of its value. We have the Limken Semgard 9500K. While it's new, it has been poorly maintained and therefore has no maintenance on it whatsoever, and its value is going to be affected as well. But nothing is leased. We have a cow barn and a chicken freewheeling, basically free range chickens at the starting farm. And in a little bit, we're going to go ahead and buy all of the farmlands because there are a lot of independent animal areas. And as the map pointed out, there are a lot of farms on the map. And they don't show up on the PDA until we buy them. But overall, there are 17 animal pens that are built into this map. We do have contracts available. None are showing up right now, but we do indeed have contracts available. We do not start out with any production chains, but we do have 12 production chains available on the map. And we do have the Elm Creek 100 collectibles. Right across the street from our starting location is our starting farm. We start out here actually at our apartment. Our sleep trigger is here at this apartment complex. So there we have our wardrobe. And across the street, we have our first animal pen. We have the free-range chickens. 150 chickens are possible at the starting farm free-range chicken area. We have our cow building right over here. We're going to take a look at that here in a little bit. Now, as far as can you customize the farms? Yes and no. Yes and no. You can sell the buildings. That's nice. You can sell the manure heap, the silage pit. That's nice. You can sell that cow barn. That's nice. What can't you sell? Chickens. You can't sell any of the chickens. You also cannot sell the sheep areas that I've tried to sell. There's a few horse areas that I've tried to sell. And in fact, in total, there are 10 animal pens that you cannot sell on the map. Why is that a problem? You can have a total of 10 animal pens on any map before you can't place anymore. Now on PC, we have a mod for that. We can fix it with a mod because it's script. Console players, there's no help. There's no help for you. So here we have our egg spawn point. So if you're going to play this map on console, I caution you on that. You very likely will not be able to place any animal pens on this map because there are 10 that you cannot delete, even if you own all the land. I've tried multiple times to get those deleted out. So here we have our fair bit of our starting equipment. We have a silage bunker for our cows. Something else that we cannot sell is we cannot sell the hedges or the fences on any of the farms. We start out with a decent stack of hay bales, straw bales, and grass bales. Our chicken's way over here. And then we have a modded base game cow pen. This has been modded to accept only 25 cows. This size animal pen in the base game is 45. But this one has been modified to just 25. We have our milk trigger here. And then, of course, we have the food trough and straw trigger down the middle. We've got this wonderful self-propelled feed mixer. A luxury not often found in your starting equipment. Sorry, I said we had grass bales at the start, but we actually have unwrapped silage bales over here. So we have everything we need to also start mixing up PMR. We have our slurry point. And then as far as additional animal areas, while we do not own this area at the start, there is 1, 2, cow pens here right by the main farm. So with that, let me go ahead and buy all of the farmlands, and that's going to cause all the animal triggers to pop up, as well as all of the other farm areas. Now, with all the farmlands now purchased, let's go ahead and go back to the PDA and take a look. So here we are at the main starting farm. We have our freewheeling chickens. We have our starting cow barn. Then we have cow pasture 1. We'll call it cow pasture 2. We have a cow pasture over here, 3, just south of field 100. We have a pig pasture just south of field 60. We have a sheep pasture over here south of field 121, as well as freewheeling chickens. So this is a farm area over here. Let's go ahead and go to the lands area, and we can buy this for $69,000. We have a cow pasture here south of field 121, just to the east of field 15. We have a horse pasture south of field 51. Here, kind of in the middle of the map, we have another farm. We have chickens. We have horses. We have 2 horse pastures and a silo area, and that is going to be $98,000 to buy. Moving over here on the west, we have more free range chickens. That is another farm there, $73,000 to buy that one. And then we have chickens and pigs. So that is another buyable farm area, and that is $46,000 to buy. So we've got also sheep right here, just to the west of field 131. We have a farmhouse. So this is where our sleep trigger is. And our wardrobe trigger is, oddly enough, right across the street from where we start out at. Now, this shows a vehicle shop, but this is not the actual vehicle shop. The actual vehicle shop is located right here, just to the east of field 85. And we're going to go across the street here, and we'll show you that there is a maintenance trigger here, but there isn't an actual buy shop here. That might confuse some people because there are now 2 vehicle shop icons, but you can only have 1 vehicle shop on any given map at any given point in time. So let's go ahead and check out our cow pastures here. So 70 cows in this pen. We have our food trough. We have our water trough. And where do we have our milk trigger at? That is indeed a very interesting question. Because I'm not seeing it marked here, but when we come up, it does say, let's just check our cows here. So here we have the cow barn. This was limited to 25. Here we have the cow we just bought. It outputs milk. Where at? Let's go ahead and hit F5 and see if we can find a trigger for those. That's a sign. So I do not know where the milk might be. This is the info box trigger. Then we have our food trough trigger. We have our water trough. We have our animal buy point. We have our gate trigger. Where is the milk trigger here? I don't think one exists, even though it is listed. I would be very cautious about buying cows that produce milk here in any of these outside pens. So we then have another cow pasture here. We do not have the ability to move your cows from pasture to pasture without putting them in a trailer. Someone's going to ask. No, that's not possible. So 70 cows in this one as well. Angus. And again, milk is showing up. Let's go ahead and do our fly around. Get a little bit of altitude here and do our traditional 360 spin. And during the fly around, we're going to try to hit all of the animal areas that we can find and go ahead and buy those so we don't have to come back around and hit those animal pens during the drive around portion. We have our sawmill to the south here. Then we have the pigsty, the outside pig pasture. Overall, the farmland is flat. The map is not so flat. There are some terrain elevation changes, but overall, we have a higher level, we have a lower level, but both levels are ultimately fairly flat. So we can sell all the buildings here. We also have the ability to sell this solar warehouse or this solar shed over here at the shop. So you can see we have a maintenance trigger here, but we don't actually have the ability to buy machinery because we don't have the machinery buy point. So we have our starting farm. We have the 2 cow pens that we looked at. Let's go ahead and move over here to another cow pasture. 8 cows in this facility. Just 8. Seems a little sparing, but okay. And once again, we have our water trough. We have our food area for those 8. We do have kind of an area here where we could build out another farm. Let's go over here where I believe this is our pigs. $150 pigs in this particular outside facility. We have our food trough. We have our substation for our straw. We have our slurry point. We have our pig basking in the grass. But what I don't see is the water. We don't need water, okay. So these pigs don't need water. We have our slurry point, we have our straw point, we have our food point. Make a little bit of that too. We have a lovely little heart impressed here in the field. Look at that. There we get a little bit of a sense how we have the different elevations. We have an upper plateau, then we have a lower plateau here where we have kind of the river running through. But it's still flat. And then we have yet another upper plateau. And I believe these are horses. $16 horses in this facility. We have our water, we have our food, and then of course our horse area. Another cow pasture. 10 cows in this one. We have our water, we have our food. And again, it's saying that we have milk here, but we don't see any signs of the milk trigger anywhere. Got a farm over here just south of field 121. 150 sheep. So we have our food. We have our water. We have our wool spawn point. We also have our chickens. 150 chickens. Here's one of our collectibles. We have our food. And now I'm starting to wonder if what I thought was for wool might not actually be for our eggs, because I don't see an egg area anywhere. We should have 2 areas clearly marked, but we only have 1 area clearly marked. As far as this farm goes, we can sell the sheds, we can sell the silos. We cannot sell the sheep area, we cannot sell the chickens. See, I'm not seeing where the wool is supposed to spawn at. I'm starting to wonder if maybe that is for the eggs and not the wool. So again, that is going to ultimately impact our final score with respect to things being clearly marked. Here we have another player farm. This is where we're going to have some chickens and some pigs. We can sell all the buildings here. We cannot sell the fences or the hedgerows. And then we can also sell these buildings right here, kind of across the street from that farm. 150 chickens in this free range area as well. Now this is visually a base game pig area, but this is only going to hold 70 pigs. So this capacity has been modified to only hold 70 pigs. So we have our food dump point. We have our straw dump point. Sorry, this is our food dump for our chickens. Kind of hidden here in the grass. So our straw dump point is going to be back there where our food is. Then our egg point is hidden over here. Make our way across the northern edge of the map. Let's just go ahead and kind of get some altitude. You can see the overall flatness factor going on here, even though we have some different elevation changes. We have our biogas plant. Then I'm not really sure what this is. This is like a, I don't know if this is like a fairground. Does a sign tell us anything? Land of Design. Okay, Land of Design. This is design land. Whatever that is. We got like stacks of bales. We got fences. We got lines here. Here we have another player farm. This one with a large silo complex. And again, our wonderful free-range chickens. 150 chickens again. Our silo dump. We can sell all the buildings here, but the brickwork, the wall brickwork is permanent. We have our food trough for our chickens down below. And then our egg spawn point way over here, kind of hidden. Kind of hidden from view. Wouldn't really classify that as clearly marked, in my opinion. Let's head on over here to the next animal pen. Another sheep pen. $150 sheep in this facility. We have our wool, we have our food, we have our water. But do these sheep produce wool? They produce wool. They list as producing wool. Okay. So let's see. Do we see a... We do see an area here for our wool spawn on this one. Now here we have the vehicle shop proper. So we have our maintenance trigger and our vehicle shop trigger here at this facility. Oh, that's the first time I've ever seen a fire hydrant here opened up. That's pretty neat. We have our animal dealer here in town. And then just behind the gas station, we have a series of animal pens. We have the food and egg point for our chickens at this facility. We have our dialogue for our chickens. 80. 80 this time. I was going to go ahead and jump the gun and say 150 once again, but 80. Just 80. 8 horses. Then we have 16 horses in this facility. For food, we have our water. And then as far as this facility goes, we can sell the buildings, which means we can sell the building horse pen, but we cannot sell the outside one. Let me just check and see. That should be all of the animals. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, like I said. And we can sell the cows. So we can sell 1, 2, 3, 4. We can sell the buildings, the pigsty, 5. Sell that cow, 6. And sell that barn, 7. So we can sell 7 of the 17 pens, or animal areas, which leaves us with 10. And again, the reason that's a problem is because we have a limit of being able to place 10 animal areas on the map. Let's go ahead and run through build mode before we get to our drive around. We do have some buildings that are listed as being part of the map. They, in my opinion, are basically just base game buildings that are already pre-placed on the map. Same goes with most of these silos. We do have a custom manure heap, which is just a trigger. 3-sided bunker. We have a flat bottom bin, which again is just a meridian bin. I believe it's just been pre-placed on the map. Under silo extensions, containers, same thing. We have our pressure washer here, which again is just pre-placed, nothing special there. Go to production. We have the pre-placed biogas plant, but that is nothing special. No custom sell points, greenhouses, orchards, or generators. As far as our animal goes, we do have a modded cow barn, but this is just the standard 45 cow barn that has been adjusted to only reflect 25 cows. It also is set up to accept 2 of the new crops here. I just noticed that. Oh, sorry, well, it's not even custom there, because the base game that holds 45 will also take those 2 new crops. We have some custom horse pastures. But again, we get the too many horse pastures. Sell some first, but I can't. I get down to 10, and again, I still have the too many horse pastures or too many animal pens message. So here is the same one as here. This one holds 8, and this one holds 8. Not really sure why it's listed as modded. No custom decorations. And when we take a look at our painting, we do have a large amount of ground textures. So we've got asphalt. We have multiple asphalts, cobblestone, concrete, flagstones, multiple types of flagstones, dirt, forest grounds, gravel, multiple gravels, and gravel will come back yet again. We have rock, then we have our animal muds, asphalts again, plates, more gravels, more dirts, sand, animal mud again, more animal mud, asphalt, concrete. It's like they've taken ground textures that have been on who knows how many maps and tossed them all into one, because here we got dirt again, dirt, forest ground, grass, multiple grasses, multiple iterations. Guess what? Back to gravels, rock, and granite. No custom plants, and our trees are from the rune. Looks like, because that's where these trees come from. With that, let's go ahead and make our way back to the shop, which is fairly close here. And then we'll get started with our drive around. So we do have, again, our maintenance trigger located right here. And then we have our shop trigger. Now let's go ahead and pick the Mahindra. See where all that spawns in at. So a decent sized area here for equipment to spawn in at, but you're not going to be buying a whole heap ton of stuff. It's decent in the fact that there's going to be room, but I would say probably you're going to get maybe a half dozen things in here before you really start to fill it up. And then you will have to navigate a rather tight exit. We got a wide gate here, but we've got these cars parked here so that you can only swing out so wide in order to then clear, this gap. You can only come out so wide out here before you run into these trees and other barricades. So again, as the author said, the map is really set up for medium equipment. I'm probably, 6 meter stuff, 8 meter stuff at the most. Let's go ahead and make our way on around to all the sell points and other various points of interest. Right across the street from the shop, we have our fuel station. And I have to say, I don't think finding your collectibles are going to be too terribly difficult. Let's make our way across the river. There appears to be a few river crossings. Yeah, let's go. Speaking of collectibles, right? Like I said, I don't think it's going to be too terribly hard to find collectibles that are scattered around. Now, we didn't really talk about this during the fly around like we usually do, but this map has 12 different productions built in. We have a sawmill, we have a spinning mill, basically a spinnery, a bakery, we have a cheese dairy, we have a grape processing unit, we have a grain mill, we have a cereal factory, sugar mill, oil mill, we have a tailor, carpentry, and biogas plant. So here we have our bakery. We have our dump station, floaty triggers. Interactive icon and pallet spawn point. And we have then our tailor. Our interactive icon, our wardrobe trigger. Our pallet spawn point is on the other side of the building. So we are going to give the map a full point with regard to having production built in or areas set aside for such. We are going to give the map 3/4 of a point with respect to having the ability to sell all base game crops, animal outputs, and productions. While we can sell all base game crops, animal output, and productions, we do have some additional crops on this map, and we do not inherently seem to have the ability to sell mustard on this particular map. So we have our dump station and our sugar mill. Interactive icon and pallet spawn point. And speaking of additional crop, let's go to our vehicle shop and just see what we need to do in order to harvest our new crop. So here we have, as a reminder, our icons for these new crops. We have mustard, which has a little flower on the end, our spring barley, and then our durum wheat. So if we go back to our vehicle shop, harvesters, our grain harvesters are going to be doing our durum wheat and our spring barley. Let's check our, we did not go to our mods and DLCs. There are no vehicles or implements that are a part of this particular map. So now I'm wondering, how do we harvest mustard? Because none of these are going to work for mustard. Certainly not sugarcane, not cotton, definitely not grapes or olives. We're not harvesting mustard with forestry products. Our grain headers are not set up for mustard because we don't have that icon. Our corn header is not set up for mustard, which I really wouldn't expect it to be. Potato technology, we don't have anything there that's set up for mustard. Beet technology, nothing for mustard that I can find. And like I said, there is no mod and DLC listed here for the map. So that means that we do not have any custom vehicles or implements that are built into the map. There isn't a reference in the mod page as a required mod or any secondary things that need to be done. So as best as I can tell, we don't even have the ability to harvest mustard. Do we have the ability to even seed it? Let's look. Seeders. Seeders, we can put mustard in the ground. That's mustard right there. This is our spring barley, and this is our durum wheat. But yeah, how do we harvest it? Let me know down in the comments below if you all have any faintest idea of how you might harvest mustard on this map. I don't see it. Maybe there's something coming. Maybe there is. Maybe this is another case of the map before its time. Maybe there is a mustard harvester. But if there is, why was it not included in the map itself? Maybe we'll get some information from the mod author. Maybe they'll drop by and say, oh yeah, there was an issue with mustard and we had to take it out at the last minute or something. Mustard wasn't intended to be actually be in the map. I don't know. Here we are coming by the main farm. We have our grape processing facility. Here we have the cheese dairy. So interactive icon, we have our pallet spawn point. And our dump station at the door. Oops. We have our vehicle shop that's not a vehicle shop. That is simply a maintenance point. We also have a fuel buy point there. We have a wardrobe trigger for the main farm. We have our starting farm located right there. The additional cow areas all right here. Remember, I think that cow area holds 8 cows. We have a sawmill. So we have our fill point for wood chips. There by the dumpster, we have our spawn point for our planks, our interactive icon, and our wood cell trigger. With respect to, can the farms be customized? As I said earlier, the answer I give is a yes and a no at the same time. And the reason that is because at all of the various player farms, we can sell the buildings. What we can't sell is we can't sell the hedges. We can't sell the fences. Where there is brickwork, kind of walls around. We can't sell the walls. We can't sell the chickens at all of the farms. The free-range chickens cannot be sold. We can't sell, for whatever reason, the sheep. We can't sell the custom open-range horses. And as a result, we end up with 10 animal areas that we cannot sell. And what that means is we can't put down our own animal areas because of that fact. So here we have our bulk lime. We have a sell point. This road will take us up to a player farm. And at that point, I think we can run down the river on the southern side and then run up the river on the northern side. So here we have one of the player farms. Again, we can sell all these buildings. We can sell the pressure washer. We can't sell anything related to the chickens that I've been able to figure out. We have a large silo system there with our dump and fill points. So we're going to give the map just a half a point with respect to can the farms be customized? Just a half a point. And the reason we're going to do that is because I think it's a pretty big impact not being able to put down your own animal pens. And since we can't sell 10 of those 17 animal pens, then that really means that on console, you guys are pretty much stuck with the animal pens that are there. And you can't put anything down that you might want to. Buildings where appropriate are using the new texture technique. Yes, I do believe they are. I do believe they are indeed using the new techniques. Don't mind me, I'm just trying to figure out where the roads go. As you can see, the hedges that line the fields do not have collisions. But fences sure do, so just watch out for the fences. So I believe this is going to be the grain mill. Indeed, this is the grain mill, so we have our interactive icon, our dump point, and then our pallet spawn point located right here. I like the added touch of these big cranes, power cranes, working on this area down here by the river. This is our farmhouse. Okay, so when we load in after saving, this is where we load in at. This is our sleep trigger. The sell point, a restaurant sell point. And then here we have the spinnery, the spinning mill. So we have our interactive icon. But where is the dump points? Right. So there we have the dump point. Our pallet spawn point is conveniently not marked, not visible. The spawn here on the loading ramp. I don't know. So chalk that up. Another thing that is not clearly marked on the map. So we have things like apparently no idea where the milk triggers are for all of those exterior, all those open cow pastures. They say that they produce milk, but we don't see where the milk pickup is. At least one sheep area, I couldn't really figure out where the wool was going to spawn in at. And now we are at the spinnery, and again, kind of left a little confused as to where that's going to come in at. They can Take down the FarmCon banner now, I guess. Do we have the animal dealer? We have one of our sheep pastures. We have the carpentry facility. Our interactive icon, our dump station, and our wood sell point. Again, we don't see where the furniture is going to spawn at. I would think it would spawn here at the side, but it's not marked. We need to find our way up to the next level to get to the biogas plant. Looks like we have a sell point back here in the corner. That is a farmer's store. We already looked at the lost house. Sell point. Maybe we didn't see the lost house. So here we have the lost house sell point. The river here looks good. I mean, overall, I think my impressions are this is an edit of Pulp Belarun with the river that runs through. We have our oil mill. Balance spawn point, dump station, and interactive icon. Right there. Crazy French traffic. Horse pasture. The map is going to feel and play like it's significantly larger than it really is because of how far you have to drive back and forth in order to make your way up the various elevations. North upper plateau. Everything would have been fine if you just kept on going. Another player farm located right here. And this is, what is this? So here we have a liquid input purchase. Farm silo, silo farmer, input purchase, farm silo lime station. Here we have a dump station, like a sell point. Here we have another lime buy point. This looks like this would be an area where you would buy not water, but possibly liquid fertilizer or herbicide, as that was mentioned in the description. And we have seed, solid fertilizer, road salt to bulk buy there. So I would say overall, are the trigger areas and trigger and interactive areas clearly marked? They're missing. They're missing. Not all are missing, but there are enough that are missing that I feel that we are going to have to deduct some amount of points as a result. So we have an industrial silo. 2 dump points for the industrial silo. Sell points for probably grain and or production goods. So we're going to give the map half of a point with respect to interactive areas and triggers being clearly marked. So that's going to bring the total map score to 3.75 out of 5. Again, we lost half a point with respect to the farms being customizable because of the fact that we couldn't get rid of like the fencing that is here. We can't get rid of the chickens. We can't get rid of a lot of the sheep pens. We can't get rid of a lot of the horse pens, even if we own them. We cannot, the trigger areas. There's lots of areas where we're just kind of guessing where things are. So that means that they are not clearly indicated. And our inability to sell mustard, it's a additional crop that's in the map, but we don't seem to have the ability to sell mustard. We also don't seem to have the ability to harvest the mustard, which is probably a good thing since we can't sell it, but we can plant it. Here we have our cereal factory, our pallet spawn point, our dump station. We have our biomass heating plant for wood chips and logs right there. So I'd like to see the map get an update. I think with a little bit of work, this map can be a 5 out of 5. I want to be able to sell all the animal areas. I want to be able to sell the fences and the hedges around the farms. I want all the triggers to be marked clearly. That means we need to unhide the feed areas from being buried in the grass. We need to make the contrast clearer with respect to what is this? We need to make the contrast greater, where we have like the egg spawn points and stuff. Oh, that's what this is. Like we have tractor pulls here. That's what that is designed for over there. Oh. We have areas like some of the sheep areas that we really have no idea where the pallets spawn at all. We have some production areas where we don't seem to have any indication of where our pallets are going to spawn at. And we need the mustard addressed. We need to be able to harvest mustard. We need to be able to sell the mustard. So here we have our Digestat, our slurry, and our digester, and our interactive icon. So guys, let me know in general, what do you all think of the Lost Corner? I think it's a map that has a lot of promise. It is got a lot going for it already, even with a few of these seemingly oversights. 169 fields. So it has got a lot of fields. A lot of farming is packed into a standard size map. Fields small, medium, and large. 12 production. So there's a lot going on. But there are some little niggles that really, I think, are going to ultimately affect the gameplay experience. And as such, it may be a map that's worth waiting on an update. Let me know if you agree down in the comments below. If you were to rate the map, what would you give it score-wise? And until next time, happy farming.